I welcome all the audience who are present for this webinar. At the same time, I'm so very pleased to meet all of you and greatly appreciate your presence today. I think as a subject, equity-based compensation is now a textbook approach for startups compensation. This has become the crux of all success stories that we hear from startups, side. Being a ESOPs being a best strategic mechanism to build that cohesion between founders and the leadership is well known in the process where they share, a wealth between them. With the recent developments with respect to many companies coming out with liquidity program, I think ESOPs have also taken up the next level in unlisted companies. So at this point, let me bring the topic of this webinar to all of you. So we are going to discuss about the needs of early stage unlisted companies with respect to ESOPs implementation. And also, I'm glad to introduce our new service offering. We are calling it ESOP Easy, and we'll see how this can help you achieve from our implementation and from also from the compliance and the operations standpoint. So without further ado, let me get into the next slide, which is about us. So as a background, ESOP Easy is carved out as a strategic vertical. It's a SBU of ESOP Direct, catering to the requirement for unlisted early stage companies. Basically, if you look at our genesis, we come from a accounting and finance background. We are part of Kirtane Pandit Group, which started off in 1956. In equity-based compensation, we have more than 2 decades of experience. So we can say that whatever we do in the ESOP Easy is everything about equity compensation. So that is our single-minded focus to simplify the complexity in ESOP implementation in these companies. As far as our presence is considered, we are, we have offices in the Mumbai, Pune, NCR, Bangalore, and also Singapore. From a team perspective, we are counting on the professionals who come from accounting and finance background, also people who have strong domain experience in equity-based compensation, including people who have long years of experience in developing products and managing operations. We also have a merchant banking subsidiary, which through which we certify compliances and do independent share valuations, which is needed by unlisted companies. I'll talk about it more in subsequent slides. The product we have created is designed in-house. So as far as the leverage on the enhancing it, improving on its feature is within our control. So this product has been the effort of our team who conceived it and also developed it. ESOP Easy is an end-to-end solution. So it in its layers, it includes plan designing, documentation, implementation. So basically the framework part along with the documentation which is required from a compliance standpoint, including plan administration, where the data handling, participant database, all stages of life cycle, gets handled through this system. So automating that process, including liquidity event management, apart from compliance related to tax, accounting, and reporting. If we look at our track record in terms of the experience we have engaged with unlisted companies, we can proudly say that we have worked with more than 500 companies in this space. We have designed more than 800 programs. Almost every year we roll out around 70 plus programs for unlisted companies. The employees who are on our platform in the unlisted space is counting, and it's more than 20,000 at this point in time. On the valuation and the accounting work, that also has been a significant volume. more than 500 valuations we do annually. In the Singapore region or the APAC region as such, we have worked with many companies, and since these companies there are not aspiring to be listed, many of these companies are unlisted companies, and that also has added to our experience in terms of handling plan in that region. So in a way, the way we consider the subject is from a overall holistic approach, so that when we are engaging with the clients, we can provide them our value addition, not only with one aspect of the planning, but also the entire gamut of planning, handling, so taking it to the logical conclusion, compliances, and reporting. So let us now look at the need of unlisted companies here, and from that point in, flexibility of plan terms is the initial phase. So a startup would have different requirement perspectives to the plan at different stages. So at a pre-funding stage where it may be short of cash, the idea is to give ESOPs at deep discounts or in decent quantity to attract people. At later stages, the new challenges arise where, there may be cash, but you still want to expand your team. You're looking at, capturing more share in that market where you exist. Similarly, in this later stages, we'll also see a lot of pivoting happening, a lot of, change in strategy. So that way, your ESOP plan will also get impacted. So it is necessary that we look at the plan from a long-term perspective and think about its features so that we don't have to revisit it again. Obviously, reviews are done, but at the initial point in time, one should have a long-term view of what pool to set aside, what should be the coverage going forward, how much consumption would the company will take on an annual basis, what shall be the frequency of grants here. What will be the vesting period? How do I define my exit opportunity? What will be the liquidity event? So as far as the flexibility is considered, these things, first of all, had to be thought upon with the business perspective, enabling that there are enough spaces in your framework which allows you to tweak the plan terms as and when it is needed, because this will be one of the requirement for your business. The second, point which I want to highlight here is the legal documentation. From a compliance standpoint, the Companies Act is a mother act here, so the companies would be required to, have a properly drafted ESOP scheme along with the resolutions which are to be approved internally. In the subsequent aspect, once the plan is implemented, the company will also require to issue grant letters, vesting letters, and in cases of exercise or surrender, exercise forms along with the FAQs at respective frequencies, so that the employees are also engaged. Now, as far as legal documentation is considered, one way of approaching is that we go with a templatized approach. But in my experience, I think this is more than just picking up someone's document and implementing it here. We also need to thought about as a company where we do stand, the rules are very important to be fixed up in terms of how we deal with minority shareholding concern, early employee separations, what are the typical safeguards which the company should have. Also from the transparency perspective, how do we spell out our liquidity provisions? Are they being, there is a provision for it or not? If that, what steps are to be carried out? Who has the authority? So all those things are important from a legal documentation in terms of providing transparency, and also from the shareholders perspective or from the founders perspective, the necessary safeguards which are needed. Coming to the next point is about compliance. Now, this is an area where in the last 5-6 years, we have seen the roadmap being very clear from the regulators, what they expect the companies to do. So with the new Companies Act 2013 and the rules thereof, along with the clarity in the Income Tax Act, one has a clear roadmap about the compliances. But since somebody has to own it up, there is a responsibility with the company to ensure that these compliances are met, including if you have raised funding, then what are the provisions with respect to the term sheets you have signed up. So if there are any covenants which are restrictive in nature, or define certain provisions which have to be implemented, that have to be taken care of in your ESOP scheme. Along with that, companies are also required to account their stock option program, so they have to expense the program in their balance sheet. So for that, valuations are needed. So this is also one area where the compliance aspect is very focused, and the companies are actually doing it more than what they used to do maybe 7-8 years back. The next point is about plan administration. So as far as plan administration is considered, before getting into what is this data handling and all, one has to see from the perspective of process and how frequent this data would change. So as a process, if you look at the life cycle of stock option grant, there are frequent communication which will happen either one way when a company makes a grant or communicates vesting of option, or it can be two-way also when there is a vesting and then the employee exercise. So that communication, we need to see that in the what way this can be automated. So basically, plan administration world over is best managed when this is automated or a tool-driven process. So maintaining that participant database, ensuring that if there is any update to the database due to any new grants which happens, or the stage, one stage, from one stage we move to the next stage. So from granting we are moving to vesting, there will be some update to the database, or from vesting to exercise, or for any separation or cancellation of options, or for new addition of employees. So this is will be handled by the company, and they need to ensure that how they do this plan and management process. Typically we have seen companies using a lot of paperwork in the maintaining it. This again creates difficulties later on because of people dependency, because of too many versions which a company would maintain on a Word file or on Excel. So this is an area which can be certainly automated, streamlined, and efficient in the long-term perspective of your planning. So plan management is again one of the needs which is which can be very well crystallized in terms of maintaining a participant database or scheme details, issuing grants to employees, storing their letters, communicating vesting of options, along with the very important part which comes at a later stage though, about exercising of options or allotment, or even in the cases of liquidity. So that way plan administration is a need which is very much emphasized with unlisted companies. Coming to the next point, this is about liquidity management. So in the last, actually in the last 2 years, we have seen liquidity event being very popular. Companies have been doing it frequently. In our estimate, it is around $500 million which has been exchanged. Around 5,000 plus employees have benefited out of it. So as far as liquidity event is considered, this is a point in time where the company either buy back these options or surrender these options, or find a mechanism where the existing investor or a potential new investor buys equity from the ESOP program or from the employee. So there are various ways of achieving it. But from one of the thing to start with is the scenarios. So how much equity would be required to provide a liquidity event? What will be the offer from the employee side? Is there a number to begin with? That comes with the scenario building and its finalization. So that is a starting point in liquidity management, along with the documentation which the company will be executing, because there would be either a transaction where the shares are traded, or in terms of cancellation or surrender, there will be documents which the employee will execute to give away the right on these vested options. So as a liquidity management, as a liquidity handling that liquidity event in an efficient way, the companies definitely have a need, and given that this is going to go up, I think the companies are looking at solutions which can make this process efficient, and at the same time more like a service which is available at a click or at the request whenever the need arises. The last point which I want to highlight here is the employee experience. The employee, when he joins a startup, many a times we have seen, and in my personal experience also, they don't have much of an idea about what they are getting into. So what is that number of options mean to him? Whether this is FMV based exercise price, or this is discount to FMV. I mean, there are so many ways this can be explained, and all this leads to a lot of confusion in the minds of the employees. So for ensuring that the employee buy-in is there, that experience quotient has to increase, and for that the companies need to respond to employees at every stage of life cycle, whether this is grant or vesting of options, especially when you are doing a performance-based vesting, and there is sort of a waterfall or something which is metrics driven vestings. So there they need to communicate it efficiently. Also at the time of exercise or liquidity event, the employees experience has to be at the top level to get them engaged with the plan and also create success stories outside. So with this, let me come to the top pain points, and this is what we see companies telling us about their issues. So around 65% of the companies have problems with respect to framework and documentation. So we do a lot of review work. I mean, companies who have implemented at, let's say, the very first year of their inception, and while we are reviewing at 5th year or the 6th year or the 4th year, we realize that what are the issues, and these issues are from the perspective of hard coding of the program, pool being consumed too early, not much being left over there, or for that matter not knowing how to deal with the exercising of these options. People who have separated are shareholders, so what to do with them. So these things can be easily erased out. The companies from the planning stage, I mean, if it has to be dealt and documented at that stage itself. So this is something which I have seen companies struggling with. The second point which I found, companies, which is again a top, I'm talking about companies who have funded, companies where there are even best of auditors, where they are not complying efficiently with the requirement of the accounting standard. So either they have not accounted properly, or they have not disclosed properly. In some cases, comparative statements are not given, stock movement summaries are not disclosed. So we need to ensure that our compliance towards accounting, or even in terms of approvals process for before implementing the program, has been ticked off, which means that we are sure of that this has been properly implemented. The reason why this is important is, one, from the perspective of obligation. So suppose we have not made a proper implementation, the rights which are created are not valid. So, and to again, get into those documents and provide a remedy, it can be a challenge. Similarly, from an accounting standpoint, this can be a problem area once you are talking to the investors, and their auditors are actually doing those due diligence. So you need to be sure that this is working out. Data accuracy and reporting, as I said, paperwork is very important. Typically, these companies are using Excels or hard copies of the document, storing it in the file, but over a period of time, it becomes difficult. Employee communication is also an area where
I see a lot of improvement is needed in terms of how do you communicate your grant, what is the perception which we have to create in the minds of the employees, so that ultimately not only from the way they see the program, but also their overall experience with the program is of top class. So from a emphasis standpoint in this slide, I think, and this is where I'm getting into the service which we are going to see that we are offering to early stage companies is a need of one-stop solution. So basically a solution which can cover plan implementation, administration, and compliance together. From a delivery standpoint, we know that there could be a single window service delivery for as a company to go to one partner rather than going to different companies or service partners to actually take up or provide solutions to their issues. In terms of actually a single window service delivery will also be cost effective in my sense, and it will save a lot of time for these companies to get their act together. So that is the whole concept behind ESOP Easy as an offering. I will tell you what is the service component in the next slide. From a positioning standpoint, a sense of assurance and belief in the plan is very important when we are implementing ESOPs for employees, and along with its overall branding. The spirit of the program should be that the company is with the employees right till the very end, and they would be able to serve them from their administration standpoint, from any queries they may have about the program, because this is part of the compensation, and many a times employees actually they give away certain components of their cash component to where ESOPs are replaced with. So it is very important that we get an employee buy-in and we brand our program in such a way that there is a positive engagement. From an investor standpoint, see, the founders are always looking for when the partners, investors to fund the opportunity. And the narrative, the way it has to be created is that the founders and the employees are together. It is also a better pitch to investors if you have a streamlined administration or framework or compliances in terms of adding up the pool either with the existing investor or when a new investors join in. So that sort of a discussion also gets facilitated with better administration and planning. Let me get you to view what is the service we are providing here. So what we are saying essentially is that ESOP Easy is going to be a trendsetter in terms of comprising all the three elements put together. So basically the conceptualization of the plan, once it has been conceptualized, the roadmap is clear, the framework is signed off, consummation of the plan. So basically the documentation work, the compliance or the internal approvals which needs to be taken. And once this has been implemented, the handling of the plan on a day-to-day basis, along with the meeting the compliances right till the very end, when there's an IPO or there's a liquidity event. So as far as the services are considered, these are the main components of ESOP Easy. In the first block, I am showing scheme implementation, which comprise of designing legal documentation, including employee communications and rollout. In some cases where the companies have established a trust route, though this will be not that frequent in the early stage companies, but even if there's a requirement of trust there, we can support in the handling that trust, acting as trustees, from that. Second is the plan administration. So Easy is a web-based program. This will be hosted on the cloud, so companies are not required to create a separate infrastructure. This is very light in terms of interface, easy navigation. Also, this comes in the form of a mobile app. So that, as a perspective from a plan administration, is going to serve a lot of purpose in the handling the program data. This has interface for both employees and participants. We are going to see those interfaces. I'll try to show you the screens there. This also has online grants as a module. So there are so many modules. Online grants I emphasize because issuing letters, hard copy, I mean, these are the trends which are of the past. Nowadays, companies prefer issuing letters online. So that is also a service as a feature this program has. Uh, Again, the one of the differentiation which I want to sort of give you is about the dedicated team support. So Easy is not a SaaS product. This is a managed service offering, which means that there will be a dedicated service delivery, which is going to do all the works at the back end with respect to adding employees or adding schemes, marking separations, doing those vestings, and also provide employee with help desk to serve their queries. So basically, that is the biggest differentiation what we are providing in Easy, that it being a managed service offering. We are telling our customers, companies, that you focus on your core areas of our business. Let us handle your ESOP program with the proficiency and the professionalism it requires for its branding. So this is one aspect which I want to highlight here. From a compliance and reporting standpoint, we are ourselves coming from a domain of accounting and finance, as I said in my introduction. So, we can, I mean, this as a service will also comprise of accounting and valuation service, including independent share valuation or disclosures which are required in annual report in your balance sheets, along with any certificates for your compliance work. So this is again further gets strengthened because we have a Cat1 merchant banking company as a subsidiary. So from a compliance or from a certification standpoint, we are equipped to handle that sort of a requirement from the companies. From a liquidity management, this is where if I underline my earlier statement stating that we are there from the beginning till the end. So this is basically the liquidity management part, which comes at the end, or it can also come at frequent intervals. So there the planning of that liquidity event, the analyzing of or finalizing those scenarios, communication and tracking of offer with the employees, executing necessary documentation, and finally payout and event closure is part of the Easy platform. And this is like a plug out sort of components which you have created, which can be seamlessly integrated with Easy core engine whenever there is a need of the company. So there also, it is not that the companies have to take up the cost initially upfront. So these are some of the value added features we have incorporated, and this can be used whenever the company finds a need of. But Easy is enabled with that. So coming to the emphasis of this service is about the managed service, which is the key differentiator. We are as a mission, we want to simplify the complexity in the early stage companies, take the ownership, the responsibility of managing the program. So we want companies to handle their core business. Let us handle it for them in the best possible way, in a professional way, along with providing a cost-effective solution where this will be a bundle pricing. So that's another value proposition, being that there's no capex sort of investment which the company has to make. So now I'll get into some of these screens from the Easy platform. I'll show you. I'll also log in and navigate some of the screens over there. So this is the system login screen, where this is for employee as well as for company process owner. Every employee will have a separate login, individual login credentials to view and do transactions pertaining to ESOP program in this platform. And from a CR side, there can be multiple CRs. So the company representative can comprise of HRs or finance or account or legal. They can have logins which can be given to them. Even founders can have logins because Easy also has a dashboard which is meant for the company. So I mean the analytics for the company basically at an overall level. So that way Easy is suiting to the company. This will be hosted on the cloud. So as I said earlier, the companies are not required to invest in servers and the other aspects of capex. This is the dashboard. So basically, it will allow employee to find out, the status of the grants, receive online grant letters, find out if the company were to put up a value for the underlying shares. They can also see what is the value of their options, distributed between vested, unvested. They will also be able to find out schemes and documents, and they can do nominations here for their relatives and family members whom they have identified. This will also help them to find out what will be their tax liability in case if there is an exercise. So in a way, this has the capability of storing documents, providing navigations to the status of the program, and also doing communicating in terms of receiving this communication of grants and vestings from the company as and when it happened. This screen is about the company dashboard. So basically, what you see here on the dashboard is about the plan at an overall level. So I'll show you this screen on the system. So basically, this will enable company to download reports. There is a strong reporting, available from this tool to the company, right from the org level reporting, which includes grant level details, scheme level details, right up to individuals. Also, employees who have exercised, or for that matter, employees who are mobile. So, that way it has a very exhaustive reporting mechanism for companies to satisfy their analytics as well as MIS requirements. This dashboard is customizable. So since the data is in the system, we can use it with our analytics tool, which is integrated with the system here, to create different dashboards as per the requirement. So I'll just take a pause. I'll log in the system, and then I will navigate you through this interface here. Just give me a moment. I hope my screen is visible. I'm logging in as an employee now. So this is the landing page once I have logged in the system as an employee. So as you can see, the navigations are provided on the left hand side where there's a dashboard, grants. If I want to exercise my options, I can do this from the module. There are reports which are available. Company can also put up documents for reference along with the help and glossary. So if I navigate you to the first module, which is the grant module. So as an employee, I can see as a participant in the plan, what are these grants which have been issued to me. So my letters are available here. If I want to, let's say these are the grants, you can see the status. Some is showing pending, accepted or rejected. So let's say I open a letter which is in the pending category. I can click on that link and I can see my letter. So this letter has been issued to me. The state of the process here is this letter has not been accepted yet. If I want, I can download this letter, or I can also, to accept it, I have to click and I can accept it here, which after doing it, it will change the setting from pending for acceptance to accepted. Similarly, on the dashboard, I have these widgets. So if there are any exercise which are in progress, I would be able to see those exercises made by me. I can, as a company, I can also see the announcement pertaining to me. So that can come here in an announcement. From grants perspective, this is what I was telling you, that these are the letters which have been issued, the letters which have an expiry date left, and these are not accepted will come in the pending category, whereas those we are accepted will come as accepted in the status column. From a wealth perspective, this is the value which we are showing here. So if the company is providing the value of the underlying shares, the system can work out the value basis that share price, and can be shown in the widget over here. In the next widget, we can see what is the total units which have been granted, what is the vested, unvested, how much options have been exercised, how many options have been exercised but they are pending, how many options have been cancelled or lapsed. There are filters available, so the navigation has been made very simple, basically 2 clicks, so that the employee would be able to find out the information they are looking for. So I can select instruments here. Accordingly, I will find out what is my status. From the other widget on the right hand side, it shows the value of these options over here. So how many, so value as well as how many options have been outstanding. This also has a filter, so I can select whether one instrument or I can do it for total. There are reports which are available over here. This is the summary report, so basically the status, and along with that there's also an exercise report. So if there is any exercises which has been made, we can see that. So if you look at the overall the way this has been designed is to make it very simple to understand for an employee, easy navigation, and provide him with all the information so that he can work out or get the details what he's looking at. On top of this, there's a managed service help desk, which if there is any query, the employee can write to that help desk and they will provide the support. So this support is available on all working days between office hours. So that way it is very agile in terms of response to companies. So that is where that employee experience factor has been in our minds while we designed it and put that managed service layer on top of it, so that the experience quality is of top class. Similarly, there's a profile section, so I can check my profile. There are details which the employees have to furnish. If he has furnished all the details, he will get a score over here. Otherwise, that way, if there is information the employee is not furnished, it can the system can prompt him that these are the details they have to furnish, saving a lot of time from the company administrators to follow up with the employees and ensure that these details are there in the system. I'll now log in inside the company representative, which is the company module, and I'll show you the reports over there. Yeah, so this is the landing page for company login. You will find the dashboard on the main page. So basically, it talks about the information relating to what has been granted. This can be factored in year wise. So there are graphs which are available. I can click on these graphs. These are double clicks, so I can go inside and check the inside information. Similarly, for vestings of option, how many options have been vested, along with the information about the cancellation of option. I can hover around those charts and find out the details of those quantities. There's a vesting forecast as well. So in future, how I see the vestings to happen. So actually, this can be a queue that if the vesting is if this line is going down, the company needs to do more grants in these years so that this can be taken up. Similarly, on the top, I can see what is the quantity of options which are in total numbers, and the details down. In terms of employees, I can see how many employees are live, how many employees are actually separated. On the option side, the stages, so how many options have been vested and exercisable, how many options are unvested, how many options are exercised and cancelled. So this is been developed with Zoho Analytics, which is integrated here. This can be, there can be different presentations, there can be different dashboards. So we have the flexibility of creating dashboards depending upon how do we want to see that information in terms of presenting it to our management. So this is a very important feature that ESOP Easy has in terms of serving the companies. This can be very helpful when you are pitching it to your investors in terms of showing them the status of your program at the go. There are different reports available. There's so many modules regarding e-grants or communicator, along with the details which can we can fill it up here. So I'll show you the report section and quickly go through one or two of these reports. So I just click on this report, which will show me the status of Okay, so this report is not opening. Let me try another report here. So there seems to be some error with the reporting here, but largely this is how it will function. So I'll come back to my presentation. I hope my slide is visible. Okay. Another aspect of Easy is the mobile interface. This is actually a very powerful, in terms of employees who are savvy using app. So that ways we have created a, this is a web app actually. So all the features, what is available on the web, is web service is available on the mobile as well. Here also the employee can view the dashboard. They can check their letters. They can receive. They can even do these exercises as you can see in that screen. So that ways we have the enabled mobile also integrated this app also with the core engine, so that employees who are more savvy using mobile apps, they can use it here at the mobile side. Yeah. So coming to the value proposition, I think our biggest value proposition here to you is the convenience. And as I said, I believe that it is better for the companies to look at their core aspects rather than getting exhausted with the ESOP management. We have a service which will take care of every needs at every stage, right from the beginning till its end. So that is the proposition which I want to make, that we can serve you from logically from the beginning to the end without any headaches and hassles. Now, I'm saying this with a purpose. As a experience, we understand the mindset of the companies. We have worked with more than the 500 plus companies in this unlisted company, specifically unlisted company space. We have a lot of data points in terms of benchmarking and the quantum estimation. Along with the learnings, there's also the essential safeguards, which is what we ensure that the scheme should have for employee early separation and as far as exits. And how do we devise the liquidity event so that the employee also is aware and the expectation setting is right. So the service is very focused for the market segment, which is those unlisted early stage private companies. We want to provide them with this experience of not only our domain expertise, but also our prowess in the doing process automation. This is coming at obviously at a lower cost as far as because we understand that as a segment is is more budget friendly. So we have taken that into our pricing consideration. This is this is a separate SBU, so it has been carved out with niche skills and the team who's going to be there present for this segment and only for this segment. So that's another message which I want to drive here. Along with the the platform, the compliance is we have that strength with our merchant banking subsidiary, so the compliance is also it can be. Yeah. So coming to the perspective of our engagements with our clients, these are some of the names we can very proudly say to you. These were when we started off these relationships, they were at a very nascent stage, early days in their program. So particularly startup culture. What we have seen in any startup was there, but many of them are now unicorns. So these are some of the names which, whenever we see them, their logos, their brands, I mean, we feel very happy about them as a business, also about their employees, because they've also done liquidity events, and whatever meaningful contribution we could have made for the success of the program, that gives us a delight. We are also proud to be associated with unicorns which are in the making, like GoDaddy or Rivigo. These are again very early stage. Early stage in terms of when we started off the relationship. So we believe in the growing with our customers, with our clients as partners, supporting them with our contribution and value adds. Another proposition which I want to highlight here is about the pricing part of ESOP Easy. So I think I have hinted earlier that this is costed lower as compared to from an overall standpoint, whatever it's very fair. I can tell you, it's very transparent. It's very fair. It's flexible in terms of modules you need and you don't want to pick up at this point in time. We can do it at later stage, like liquidity or trust. Or so the way it has been, the pricing has been factored is to ensure that there is no heavy capex by the companies initially. This is also done in a format where there's an annual fee which can be paid in quarters. So that ways we have made it simple there as well. Along with some of these add-on services which we also provide as a part of Easy, but these are plug and play. Whenever there is a need, this can come up, and once the need ends, this will come out. So that ways it is very flexible in terms of the way the modules have been designed, and also the way from a business proposition, the way it has been priced. So I think I have Rahul, how much 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So with this I have one more slide which is okay. So there was an emphasis point. So the experience is over 2 decades in the space of equity based compensation. We want you to leverage on that with this offering. These are our other relationships in startups. Obviously there are many more names. These are the names which I could have thought about in these sectors, but I am sure that wherever we have worked with, there has been gains both sides. So one is we've been able to serve our clients well, and also on the other side we have learned from them, and that has in terms of specifications or requirements which has prompted us or ensured that we are also on our toes in terms of improving and providing them better services. So these are some of the relationships I can highlight here in the startup segment. With this, that's my last slide. So Rahul, if you have any questions here, we can take up. I'll also request my guest here to note down this coordinate. We'll be sending you a feedback form after this webinar is over. You will have our details. So if you want a presentation or a demo or a meeting to be done, we'll be very happy to take up this to the next level. Yeah, Rahul, we can have a few questions.
Yeah, sure. And I want to thank Jalaj for giving such an insight on needs of a startup and how they are different from a matured companies, and also the service delivery, that how it is customized only to see the requirements of early stage companies. So Jalaj, but we have most of the questions are related to pricing, so I think we can take it offline rather than discussing on a platform. So because even the participants has requested to discuss it one-on-one. So sure, I will say that the questions we can take it offline.
Yeah. So as far as pricing is considered, I can, I mean, without getting into the numbers and how much it will cost, what I can say here is there are 2-3 things which are important. One is it is offered as a bundled offering. So, I mean, overall spend from a company standpoint, if we were to consider, this service will be, very, very competitive in that segment and with that quality. Second is there are modules which are, the packages can be opted the way the company sees its requirement. So a company may have a requirement for, let's say, if they have a share valuation done, they might not need it from us. So that ways that can be, moved out of that package. Accordingly, the cost will also, come down. So the flexibility of opting a particular package or a value-added module is completely made flexible, so we can decide upon which ones to go for, and accordingly, pick up the right package which suits the requirement and also the pocket in terms of how much budget has been set aside. So basically, this is, and it's not that. If you don't have a need of a package and or a module, and you realize later on that you want it, we can add it up. So don't have to worry about picking everything in the first stage. It can be added to the pricing package, the way we see the requirements coming up. So at the core of it, I mean, the plan administration, the feature that we have seen, that is there at core of every package. Along with the compliance, because and documentation. So basically, these are the 3 things which are mostly common in all the package, and then you can add up more muscle to it in terms of modules which are available. We can, definitely, if you let us know, we can set up a separate meeting one-on-one with the companies here or the guests here, and we can talk about it.
Sure, sir. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, you can write us. Here the details are on your screen, and it is at info@esopeasy.com. So here I will close this webinar, and thank you, Jalaj. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rahul, and thank you everyone for your presence here today. It was really great talking to you. We are coming up with ESOP Easy, and we feel that this is going to be a real game changer, and look forward to receiving your queries and your comments and your feedback. Thank you so much. Look forward to meet you again when we are going to schedule a webinar on any other topic or subject, maybe in the next month or so. So thank you so much. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you.
Thank you.